Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF, bringing you episode 58. We're almost to 60 of Let's Play Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition by the classic RPG developer BioWare, this being one of their classic games. Hope you guys are well. I am hype and excited to play today. The sun is out. It is pretty early morning. Just had my morning coffee and ready to get on into it here. We're about to head into Orzammar's tavern as we explore the city of Orzammar. Very cool architecture and such. Let's head into Tapster's Tavern.
I tried Dwarven ale once. I thought it was just something they tricked surfers into drinking, as a joke.
So you're a Grey Warden. You think I'm impressed?
Can you believe King Endrin turned against his own son?
Cora?
Atrust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapster's. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you?
I'd like to hear a bit about the city.
So you come to Tapster's? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view.
Is there any place I should see while I'm here?
The nobles stay upstairs, except when they're slumming. You'll find the assembly there, the palace, the Shaperate, and plenty of estates. Down from here is just Dust Town or the mines, so my recommendation is avoid. It's not part of the city, just some old tunnels where the castlists build their nest. No one goes there if they can help it. But if you want fun, your best bet is the Proving.
Huh. What's the Proving?
It's a chance for all the best fighters in Orzammar to test their skills. There's a tournament today. Arenas between here and the Diamond Quarter.
I'd like a drink.
With 52 types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have?
A round of your best brew for myself in the house.
Someone's feeling generous. A round of Valentis Red for everyone. This, my friend, is the Paragon of Ales. The best your money can buy. Enjoy.
Lost 1 silver only? Nice.
There's an ale out there with my name on it.
Told him I don't understand why the provings aren't open to everyone. I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me.
Lord Helmy.
I'm coming! Hold on!
You're the Grey Warden, aren't you?
I am indeed. Nevin.
Afternoon, stranger. You looking for a stool to share a brew?
Who are you?
Name's Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's Expeditionary Field Unit. Yourself?
I'm Matthew, a Grey Warden.
Figured as much. Good folks, wardens. I was in the deep roads when that one came by. What was his name? Dunka... something like that.
You knew Duncan?
I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the deep roads. Not many do. Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines.
I've never been in the deep roads.
Every Grey Warden ends up there. That's where they send you when you're ready to leave this world. Go die in the dark, putting away as many vermin as you can. Getting more crowded these days, though. Lots of people interested all of a sudden. We go back tomorrow, and we're not the only ones.
What are you looking for?
Balin ordered us in at first bell. He's splitting us into 4 teams to search for some of the lost Tigers. Looking for signs of Bronca, I guess. Seems to be who everyone's after.
Who's Bronca?
Bronca was a paragon, some kind of great smith or whatnot. But she went batty and let her whole house into the deep roads more than 2 years ago. There's no chance she could have survived. And a lot of good men are gonna die looking for her corpse. Excuse me. This brew is starting to taste awful bitter.
In Dwarven and in the Risha Saradur Vahatin Women. Nasunkalanovrug and Premalanovam. Arhandeka Paragan Veram Deshir Uram Desin. And Tinavreka Ansordans Netek Varax Gorhelvaring. Parstagdis Aparva Gorda Jebindar Dektavirai.
Paragon of drinking. Very nice. Alright.
Just take a table. I'll be right with you.
This, my friend, is a pint.
Sit down, have a drink, enjoy life.
What are everywhere? That's a nug.
What? Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends.
What are you talking about?
They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Huh. Quest related. Unbound. 3 weathered parchments with 3 versions of the same incomplete story. Excerpt. And when his kingdom fell, so disappeared the stolen riches of an age. The beast, the unbound, dormant until one true spirit claims his throne. So must hunt the hero of his people, the principled who would search for ancient evil. This is how they can make a real difference. Scribbled in the corner in a shaky hand. 3 pages, 3 ages. Same story, updated. Same as the tavern song, but older. Signature torn on purpose. But compare and get Vil made on. All from him. How? And we haven't seen a creature. We've almost seen all the creatures in this thing, but the nug. Hid deep in mad nugs, our screams deafen their keen ears. We will be nug poop. From Songs That Only Nugs Can Hear by Paragon Ebrian, 584 Exalted. The nug is an omnivore, common to the deep roads, a hairless creature that is almost blind as well as completely docile. It spends most of its time wading in shallow pools as well as mud pits, feeding on small insects, worms, and in a pinch, limestone and simple metals. Indeed, the digestive system of the nug is legendary, able to make a meal out of almost anything a nug finds on the cavern floors. Nugs reproduce rapidly, spreading into any niche within the deep roads they can find, and serve to support a variety of predators such as giant spiders and deep stalkers. Oh boy. So too do dwarves make meals out of them. Nugs are, in the poorer slum portions of Orzammar, one of the most common sources of meat available. Some dwarves even domesticate the creatures, claiming to find the creatures' high-pitched squeaks pleasing. Alright. Sit over here, and then we have some peeps here.
Good day to you.
A plate of your best soup, and bring it while it's hot.
We have Lord Helmy.
Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand what I'm saying, right? On the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden?
Controversial opinion for a dwarf in the assembly.
Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at tapsters. Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the assembly? I'm always like that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the assembly. Orzammar is so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary.
Huh. How does the caste system work, anyway?
Badly. Oh, you're serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected deshers of the assembly are at the top. Then it's the nobles. Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that. Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill.
So you get to vote on the next king?
Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality.
Who are you voting for?
I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning.
I should get going.
As you wish.
Thank you, Lord Helmy. Alright, interesting place. Nothing more to do here, though. Alright, so we're going to head to the Diamond Quarter, probably. Legnar. Alright, there's this way. Wall carving. New Codex the Casts. This is in culture and history. Visitors to Orzammar should keep in mind that the hierarchies of Dwarven society are much more complex than our own. It is easy to gravely insult a man simply by mistaking his position. Since this can lead to unnecessary loss of life and limbs, I will attempt to mitigate the danger for my fellow travelers. The society of Orzammar is divided into nobles, warriors, smiths, artisans, miners, merchants, and servants. Warriors, then smiths, then artisans, miners, merchants, and servants. Now, you are undoubtedly saying to yourself, we have all those divisions among our own people. This is a dangerous misconception. Certainly, we do have nobility, artisans, merchants, and these positions are largely inherited from our parents. However, the younger children of noblemen often choose to be artisans or soldiers. The sons of merchants may join the army or become servants, or apprentice themselves to a craftsman. This is all freely chosen, limited perhaps by the circumstances of birth, but still chosen. What is a matter of choice for most human folk is dictated entirely by birth for dwarves. No one may become a smith who was not born to smith-caste parents. A servant who marries a noblewoman will never be a noble himself, and although his daughters would be nobles, his sons would be servants, for daughters inherit the caste of their mother, while sons inherit the caste of the father. Brother Genitivi, that's interesting. Huh. But, I guess we go this way and it's... Oh, wait, no. What is this way? Dusttown. I don't know if we want to head into Dusttown right now. Legnar? What was your story again?
Like to buy something, I hope.
Oh.
I want that surface wealth coming back to us, Balin's ascension willing.
Right, never mind, I should get
surface
going.
gold can come back any time.
Noted.
They won't see me coming.
Alright, so let's... Well, I guess we could head down the royal area, which would be down this way.
It is sometimes so hard to believe that you have been through so much at such a young age.
I think I look younger than I am.
Yes, that is possible. When I was your age, I was just about ready to take on my first apprentice. In hindsight, perhaps I should have waited a few more years. I was arrogant, my confidence bolstered by my youth.
It is so hard to imagine seeing you now.
Oh, I've had some 2 decades or so to grow mellow. Believe me, back then I was quite prickly.
So you are like a fine wine, yes? Losing the raw edges over time.
I suppose there is some truth to that analogy, but dear Maker, I do hate being compared to wine. Or cheese. Especially cheese.
Orzammar?
I'll trust Vala. Good day to you.
Okay, we can come back here, grab a nug. Oh, this is the proving. Let's probably go to the Diamond Quarter first. I thought this was the royal area, as outlined in the Codex entry. And over here, well, let's hit the Nug Wrangler.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there. You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there.
What was that?
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there.
What's that?
I trust Vala, my nug wrangling friend.
Okay, so we got 12 silver for each one. Garen was a little lyrium touched. That goes to... This goes to the mines, I guess. There's a miner and stuff down here.
What's this? A human? Did we make these tunnels tall enough for humans? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesha's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today.
Why do you need patrols?
Don't let the comm fool you. The Darkspawn are down there, aren't they, Commander?
Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
Actually, they've made their move on the surface.
The surface? But I thought the vermin never went up that far except to...
Except during blights. Ancestors save us if that's what's happening.
What do you know about Paragon Branca?
What anyone knows. She went out there with her entire house and she's never coming back.
You don't think maybe she's still there, Commander? She is a paragon, after all.
And now she's an ancestor. No one lasts 2 years in the tunnels.
Are Darkspawn the only danger in these tunnels?
Of course not. Down here you're bound to run into giant spiders, deep stalkers, and other vermin.
Huh. Deep stalkers.
Ugly beasts they are. Walk on 2 legs, but they have the head of a worm and hunt in packs.
Oh.
Watch out. They're not afraid to take on a group their own size.
Huh. Are there no dwarves past this point?
A few outposts. Legion of the Dead mostly, fools that they are. Some scavenger types too.
Legion of the Dead?
It's an independent company of soldiers. They accept no command but their own. Anyone who can bear arms can join, no matter his crimes, or sanity. They hold a funeral when they join, and swear their only goal is a glorious death.
Will you let me pass?
Into the deep roads? Not without a full unit of soldiers to back you, my friend. Or Adesha's permission to risk yourself. Orzammar can't afford to lose its citizens or honored guests on casual visits to the deeps.
I should go.
Aye. For your sake, I hope you've no reason to come here again.
Quietly, then.
Alright, so let's head to the Diamond Quarter. Very cool city thus far. See if there's a nug back here. Nope. Alright. We'll quick save and head on through.
It shall...
Huh, can actually come up here. A council writ on Dwarven propriety. Quest related, the key to the city. While your concerns have merit, the assembly has made itself clear. Space within the Thag is at a premium, but the intended function of the hall merits the additional resources committed. The statues of... Oh, we read that. Here we go. It is agreed that no rules of procedure were explicitly broken, but a 5-day filibuster is nonetheless worthy of censure. Division of House Gorosmote property was deliberated for a full session, and forfeiture of the southern estate deemed a necessity. Since the birth of young Cade necessitates his elevation to noble status, and it is unthinkable for a noble's family to live in the slums, it is the responsibility of the father to accommodate the placement of his family. It is not possible to simply generate new space in the Diamond Quarter without compromising the Thag's structural integrity. Lord Dace's comment that if Lord Gorosmote didn't want a new heir he shouldn't have slummed for a concubine was indeed inappropriate, but the proper procedure for resolution through proving was followed. Both parties agreed to accept his retraction, and the matter is considered separate and closed. The decision of the Assembly regarding the placement of the Duncoat clan stands. From a writ of the Assembly Zoning Council regarding the placement of the Duncoat clan. Duncoat, hello?
Good day.
Atrasvala.
Atrasvala, nobles.
Is it true there's civil war on the surface, too?
Yep.
Ancestors guide your steps, Warden.
Adal Helmi.
So the closer you live to the surface, the higher class you are. Unless you're actually on the surface.
Sounds about right. Hello.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Orzammar.
Grey Warden arrives in Orzammar, undoubtedly to offer assistance to Lord Harrowmont.
Huh.
The public has a right to know.
It's times like this we really need a paragon.
I can grab this? A diamond mall? Steel, though. We'll take it. The Harrowmont estate. Lady Dace.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Narav.
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
I'm thinking about it.
Orzammar welcomes the Grey Wardens. Orzammar welcomes the Grey Wardens.
News of the hour! Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Balin reveal the truth. Could Harrowmont be the true cause of King Endrin's death? Shocking allegations! Nothing I say is provably false.
Good day.
Here we have the Royal Palace. Let's take a look at that Royal Palace. Pretty nice. Wow.
Old King Endrin would weep to see Orzammar in such a state.
Oh my, a surfacer in Orzammar.
Chamber of the Assembly. Huh.
Atrashvala. The Prince values your support, Warden. We are glad to have you here, Warden.
Your service to House Iduken does you credit.
Iduken.
Oh, it must be so cold up on the surface. How do you stand it?
Some lava. And here we have the Shaperate, which is where we were told to go. Any nugs around here? I guess let's head to the Shaperate. It'll be our next stop.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
Shaper Assistant Mildrate.
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value.
Thief in the House of Learning.
Perhaps you should stand over there instead.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, I can't chat.
Shaper. Orda, a book.
It has begun.
The Legion of Steel.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I'm a Grey Warden. I'm not afraid of the deep roads.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking, it's almost too much to hope.
Lost to the memories.
Quiet as she goes, right?
Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Shaper of Memories?
The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
What's the difference between an ancestor and a paragon?
All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to paragon. A paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name.
And that's what Branka was?
Branka is a paragon, now and into death. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status.
Where is Branka now?
She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned.
How did the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shotgyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
Huh. What about the casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
Yikes. Seems easy for you to dismiss them.
Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Oh. Tell me some of Orzammar's history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
Huh. How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caradon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle.
Wow.
But Caradon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
What's a Thig?
They are to us what a colony is to surfacers.
Oh. Where is Kal Sharok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements.
Wow.
It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Enough history, let's talk about Orzammar again.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
Let's go back to my first questions.
Please, speak your mind.
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
One of Orzammar's own has returned to spread the chant.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Let's try to persuade him. What harm would it do to let him preach?
He seems a charitable man, but that is a thin thread on which to tie Orzammar's traditions. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own.
Nice.
Now, is there anything more?
No, I thank you for your time, Shaper.
I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
Quest updated.
They won't see me coming.
Shaper at Scribe.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
I'm sorry, you'll have to bother someone else with your questions.
A book.
I shall do it.
New Codex on the Deep Roads. Let's check that out. This is 137 of Culture and History. There isn't a dwarf alive who remembers the deep roads as they once were. They were the network of tunnels that joined the Thaigs together. Or was it Tigers? To be honest, it isn't even right to give them such a simple term as tunnels. They are works of art, with centuries of planning demonstrated in the geometry of their walls, with the statues of the paragons that watch over travelers, with the flow of lava that keeps the deep roads lit and warm. The cloud gazers up on the surface talk of the Imperial Highway built by the Magisters of old, a raised walkway that crossed thousands of miles, something that could only have been built by magic. Perhaps it is comparable to the deep roads, although we dwarves didn't need magic. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. The Darkspawn rule the deep roads now. When Orzammar sealed off the entrance to the deep roads, abandoning everything that lay out there, we handed over the kingdom that was to those black bastards forever. To think that there are Genlocks crawling over Bonammer now, tearing down our statues and defiling our greatest works. Corruption covers everything we built out there. Every dwarf who goes out and comes back says that it gets worse with each passing year. The foulness spreads a little further, and the cloud gazers think the Darkspawn are gone just because they aren't spilling out onto the surface? One day, when Orzammar is gone for good, they'll find out differently. Those Darkspawn won't have anywhere else to go but up, and they'll do it. The surface folk will have themselves a blight that will never end. Transcript of a conversation with a member of the Dwarven Mining Cast, 890 Blessed. Interesting. Love getting these books. More books. In praise of the humble Nug. I once served a human some nug, and he proclaimed that it was like eating an unholy union of pork and hare. The idea disturbed him so much that he declined to finish his serving and made himself content with some stale bread. Of course, this only goes to show that surfacers, human or otherwise, have tragically unrefined palates. The nug is surely the most delicious animal I have ever tasted. Only a dead man would not salivate at the thought of a tender morsel of roast nug melting in his mouth. The paragon Varen, although his house has fallen, shall always be remembered for discovering the wonders of nug flesh. Admittedly, it was discovered only out of desperation when he was separated from his legion and lost in the deep roads for a week, but we won't hold that against the good paragon. Varen. While nug pancakes and nuggets, my own children love these, are the nug dishes one encounters most often, nug can be prepared in other interesting and elegant ways. The late King Ansgar Aeducan adored nug, seared on a hot metal plate and finished in the oven, and dressed in a cream sauce flavored with deep mushrooms. Oh, that sounds good. You must be careful when using the mushrooms from the deep roads because they often grow close to darkspawn bodies. They say that this is what gives them the unique flavor and intoxicating scent, but it also means that consuming too many of them may result in curious afflictions of the mind. From In Praise of the Humble Nug by Bregan Tolman, honored chef to House Adukin. Ooh, more books. New Codex for Orzammar Politics. As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf's caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances among the noble houses of Orzammar. Everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste, but they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in an artisan's work, and in turn they reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. The relative power of each house is ever-changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble holds the throne is at the top of the heap, but below that things grow into a tangled mess. Houses ally with one another by marriage. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them or from their own bloodlines win provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degrees of power that these achievements confer are so murky, even to the dwarves, that it isn't unusual for nobles to challenge one another to provings over whose smith forges better belt buckles, or whose servants have the best manners. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim, for the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, where the Deshirs, representatives of each noble house, meet. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the Deshirs. Kings who prove unpopular from their heirs find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes to another house. In Pursuit of Knowledge, Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genitivi. Wow, lots of books. Legion of the Dead. Cool, this should be interesting. Yes, Stone's greetings, friend. You will fight ceaselessly in the Legion of the Dead. Motto of the Legion of the Dead. The Legion accepts all. So I was told by one of the legionnaires himself, a dwarf who waited quietly at the entrance to the deep roads for the rest of his unit to assemble. They gathered slowly, each equipped with heavy armor and fine weapons, each painted with grim tattoos applied at their funerals the night previous. For that is the nature of the Legion. They are all dead. Any dwarf may join in the League, so long as he is willing to give up everything he has. The funeral rites are somber. A final goodbye is said to family and loved ones. Any material goods are dispersed to heirs, and last words are said, and then it is done. The new legionnaire marches into the deep roads, never to return. The Legion fights against the Darkspawn to the last, striking one final blow against the monsters that have claimed so much of their homeland. Many join the Legion to clear the slate. Criminals join to avoid punishment. The dishonored join so that their houses and families need not suffer on their behalf. The bankrupted join so their debts might be forgiven. A very few join for a chance at glory, but the Legion takes them too. This group hopes to reach the fabled fortress of Orzammar. Once the Legion's home, associated with the greatest of their paragons, Orzammar is a holy place. It's lost the last great blow against the Dwarven kingdoms, and its recapture would be a glorious signal to all of Orzammar. But capture it or no, all of these warriors will die in the deep roads. It is a sobering thought, and now I know why dwarves say the Legion's charge is the battlefield's most frightening sight. They have nothing left to lose. From Stone Halls of the Dwarves by Brother Genitivi. Chantry Scala. A Wall of Memories. It's pretty cool looking. 50 XP. Codex updated. The Shaper's Life. The blessing of the Shaper is given only to those who walk with the stone. It is a path that cuts deep, and the road is far from secure, but those who desire to work in memory must first honor it. Document the stone, protect her, and present a new history to the memories. Only then will the blessing of the Shaper be upon you. From the Shaper's Life. Orzammar has carved a legacy from the stone, but history is more than the comings and goings that fill the streets. We read that. We didn't read that first part, though. Let's quick save. How long have we been playing? 39 minutes. Okay. Dwarven Faith. Should be interesting. The chant of light is almost never heard in the halls of Orzammar. This is hardly surprising, for, unlike the elves, who are literally abandoned by their gods, or the Tevinters, who worship dragons, the dwarves have no gods at all. Even the concept of worship is foreign in Orzammar. Instead, the dwarves seem to venerate the stone, a name they give to the earth itself. This seems practical for people living underground, if perhaps a bit unimaginative. For guidance in spiritual matters, they turn to their ancestors. These ancestors, who are said to have returned to the stone, communicate their wishes to the living via brutal trials by combat, called provings. The ancestors' collective wisdom is maintained by the Shaper, which can apparently store records in Lyrium itself. Set above the ancestors, above even kings, are the Paragons, dwarves who have achieved such greatness that they're elevated almost to godhood. These are the great figures holding up the hallway that leads from the surface, the first glimpse of Orzammar that outsiders see. Pursuit of knowledge, Brother Genitive. Ooh, a chest. Another book. Traditional Dwarven folk songs. That should be good. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wriggles his ears. You catch the Nug, he slips away. Nug gets to live another day. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his toes. You hook the Nug, he slips away. Now the Nug runs off to play. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his nose. You tickle the Nug, he laughs away. Now the Nug sits on my plate. Nug pancakes, a well-loved Dwarven nursery rhyme. And we have a chest here, which we're going to leave on a bit of a cliffhanger here, guys. We'll check the chest next time. I want to thank you all for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We learned a lot, actually, about the dwarves. It was very interesting, so thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for more. We're not only going to open this chest, but we are going to definitely explore more of Orzammar and take care of some more business. Should be very fun, so I hope to see you guys then. Until then, guys, be well. Much love, peace, and joy. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.